We are going on 9:30 right now. Richard Allen, the suspect in the Delphi double murder case, just arrived at the Carroll County Courthouse just after 9 this morning.
Yeah, happening around 9:20, and Allen looking much thinner than at his last court appearance that we took you to. Welcome back. Our Sierra Hignite is live outside the Carroll County Courthouse for us this morning, following the very latest. And Sierra, you were able to see that what we saw, his appearance.
Yeah, I was able to. We've kind of talked about how it's deteriorated since those very first photos we ever saw of him when he was taken into custody. He was much heavier set the first time we saw him, had a very long whitish gray beard. His hair on top of his head was a little longer, and as we've continued to see him, it seems he's continued to get thinner and thinner as he's been in custody. He no longer has the beard. His hair is very tightly buzzed to his head. And is not looking very well, at what I would describe. And that is one of the arguments from his attorneys here. One of the motions that was filed today was a safekeeping order, and that is because he's being held in a direction of corrections facility and not a local jail. And so one of the questions that's going to be discussed here is this for his own safety and what constitutes his safety? We've talked about him being held in solitary confinement and the toll that could take on someone's mental health and their overall health in general. And so his attorneys are asking for him to be moved because of his health. He does look much thinner, his hair much shorter. As we saw him get out of that vehicle today with officers, he was definitely very slow to get out of the vehicle, but then it seemed the officers kind of lifted him up a little bit to hurry him into the doors. Was that to prevent us from getting a very good look at him? Was it to prevent him from being outside for very long? We don't know the answer. However, we know he was slow to move out of that van and quick to get inside of the building here. But I would agree, he definitely looks much thinner than what he did previously as we've seen him.
Yeah, especially when you consider the very first time that we saw him and then that photo that his attorneys had in the court document so that people like you and me, because we know there's a gag order and they can't talk, to actually show what they claim is happening to him and how his mental and physical state, they claim, is deteriorating. I wanted you to talk about, too, some of the other things that are happening here in 30 minutes, and one of those being that suppression of evidence, and specifically the bullet that was found between the girls' bodies. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you know about what might happen in court today considering that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of those motions, it's actually called the motion to suppress. Like you said, it has to do with evidence and the lawfulness in which that evidence was brought to court. So Allen's attorneys are arguing that they want that ballistics evidence to be dismissed. And what it would be is, do bullets at Allen's house match bullets that were found at the crime scene? I mean, you don't want to use a figure of speech here, but the smoking gun is obviously very important in this case. And if the county and the state were to lose that evidence, if they feel that it pins Allen to this murder, you can imagine how big of a deal that would be if they no longer were able to use this ballistics evidence. So that is kind of one of the big questions here today, is are they going to be able to use and compare evidence that they're saying they found at Allen's house and that they're saying it matches or is similar to evidence that was found at the crime scene all those years ago. Again, Allen's attorneys want that thrown out. They want it not able to be used in court when this is heard. But another big question here, Angela, I know that you've talked about it too throughout the morning, is this letter. It's been under seal for a while now. We have not been able to see it, but a letter was sent from an inmate at the Westville Corrections Facility to the judge. We don't know who sent that letter. Was it Allen? What was he saying in that letter? Was he asking for something? Was he explaining something, admitting something even perhaps? Or was it sent by another inmate? That letter has been under seal. No one has been able to see it except for those involved in the case. And there's potential that that letter, among a lot of other documents, could be unsealed today. And it could really give us a deeper look at what's going on in this case. Any role that Allen may or may not have played in this case could come out, all if these documents are unsealed. It's something we've been waiting on. There was potential it could have happened yesterday. Obviously it did not. But now with all of this happening today, there is a chance that we could actually finally see a lot of details that we have not had access to in previous years. One other issue that's being addressed today is also the motion of due process. And so that essentially is ensuring that Allen's legal rights are respected and that there's no prejudicial or unequal treatment, which is obviously something that's important in every case. But a case like this where it's being heard in the county where the crime happened, you can imagine that's a very sensitive matter. And given the Constitution, innocent until proven guilty. So they want to make sure that he gets a fair trial. And so that's a topic that will also be discussed in court today.
Sierra, we had touched on this very lightly about his appearance, but also Fran Gaul will be looking at a motion today to reconsider his safekeeping. Kind of explain that.
Yeah, so safekeeping, it has to do, so he's housed in the DOC facility now. They want to move him to a local jail. They say, these safekeeping orders, they have to do with safety. So obviously if he's under suicide watch, if his mental health, his overall health is dwindling, that has to do with a person's safety. So basically the judge is going to be considering, can he stay in a DOC facility, under what conditions, or does he need to be moved to a local jail? That then opens up, okay, what local jail could he be moved to? So the big questions in that to make that decision is this for his own safety, and what constitutes his safety? So those are questions that the judge is going to take under consideration this morning in order to help her decide, is she going to let him be moved? Where is he going to be housed now moving forward? And again, the defense is arguing that it is affecting his own health since he's been held in solitary confinement. And again, those pictures that we saw previously, the solitary confinement, I think, is a big factor in this request, saying that that is what's really causing the dwindling of his physical and mental well-being here. So perhaps maybe they end up just getting him out of solitary confinement, but he stays in a DOC facility. That is an option, but also completely moving him out of DOC and getting him into a local jail is what I believe the attorneys for Allen are requesting this morning.
I think it's going to be important too to ask in this case, or to find out in this particular case. We show the video that we've gained, to say, why was he in a yellow jumpsuit? And in every case it's different. In counties in Indiana, typically if you're in yellow, that means you're on an outside work crew. Typically when you're in yellow, and oftentimes in a federal facility, that's because there's some kind of medical problem with you. We need to say that is a question that we've already gotten. Why is he wearing yellow? In this case, we do not know why he is wearing yellow, if it's because of the medical condition or if it's because he has to be with security at all times. That's another reason sometimes that we're in yellow. He's in yellow, but again, he was not in yellow last time.
The last time we saw him.
Right, and I think that's a big question here, because really you think he falls into both of those categories. He is outside of his facility. He's being transported. It's easier to see him in yellow should something happen. But also his health is a big question here today. That's one of the biggest arguments here from his attorneys, is his dwindling health. It's something they filed previously, that his health has taken such a toll. It's a topic we continue to discuss because it is vastly different from the first time we saw him. I mean, if you look at photos of him, he does not look what you would describe as well. Granted, if you're in solitary confinement, you can't imagine that that's doing a lot for anyone's mental health, but you're in solitary confinement for 20 plus hours a day. You're not getting out much, you're not getting outside, and they are arguing that that specifically is affecting his health. So it would make sense if the health reason was why he's in the yellow jumpsuit. There has been no guidance from the court given to us as to why that color has changed. But yeah, I would agree. Hopefully they can shed some light on why that color has changed. What does it mean? Is it specific to the health? Is it just simply because of the way he was taken out of the facility and what's happening today, since we will break obviously for a portion of today? We could go till noon, we could go till 3 o'clock. The hearing could take 30 minutes. We're not sure, but that means he's going to be out of the facility for a lengthy amount of time. But again, we're going to continue to monitor this for you. He is on site now. This is supposed to get underway here at 10 o'clock, so about 20 minutes. I'm going to head inside and monitor that, and I'll be back with more information later on today as soon as we get it.
All right, Sierra Hignight reporting live for us outside the Carroll County Courthouse for us this morning. Thank you.